Hey everyone, Eric here. I am the host of the Unseen Paranormal Podcast. Join me for a new episode every Wednesday as I delve into the unseen world with historians, authors, researchers, and investigators as we try to understand and make sense of the paranormal. You can listen to past and future episodes on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, or at unseenparanormalpodcast.com. Please like the show on Facebook and share with your friends. And remember, some of the scariest things are unseen.
Hi everyone, welcome back to Southern Ghost Stories, where we take you on a ghost tour to some of the most haunted places in the South. I'm your host Chelsea along with Alan.
Hey there.
Today, we're going to talk about Castle Warden in St. Augustine, Florida. Alan, can you give us some background on this historic building?
Why, you know I can. In 1887, William Warden, a partner of John D. Rockefeller, who was one of the wealthiest men in the country, he built a massive resort as a winter home for his wife and 16 children. 16 children. Wow. The Warden family lived the good life, enjoying stables, a greenhouse, as well as tennis courts on the property. Prestigious men like Henry Flagler and Rockefeller stayed at the home from time to time. After William Warden died in 1895, his family remained in the mansion until 1926, when it sat empty until 1941. It was then that Norton Baskin and his wife, Pulitzer Prize-winning author of The Yearling, Marjorie Kennan Rollins, bought the property and turned the building into Castle Warden Hotel. The Rollins lived in an apartment on the first floor and rented out the rest of the rooms to guests.
On April 23rd, 1944, a tragic fire broke out on the third floor of the hotel. All of the guests got out of the building safely, except for two women, Ruth Pickering and Betty Richardson, both of which were staying on the third floor, were trapped and then died from the smoke inhalation. Betty Richardson was a dress shop owner in Jacksonville who came to St. Augustine on business. Ruth Pickering was a close friend of Marjorie Rollins from Chicago, who had recently gone through a very tough, painful divorce. Marjorie put her friend up in a penthouse on the third floor for several weeks to get her mind off things. It was initially reported that a cigarette had started the deadly blaze, but over the years, other theories about the fire started to emerge, and they all revolved around the divorcee, Ruth Pickering. After her divorce, Ruth left behind the cold in Chicago and came south to sunny St. Augustine to take her mind off her failed marriage. Since her friend Marjorie Rollins was going to take her up in the hotel for free, she came to Florida. And this is where it gets a little murky.
Some believe that Ruth's ex-husband from Chicago tracked her down and killed her. He then set a fire in the hotel as a diversion. However, her husband was a very popular newspaper reporter, and it's believed that he wouldn't have been able to fly under the radar. People would have noticed he was missing for a few days, especially when his wife turns up dead. Ultimately, he had an alibi, but he was always suspected of being the murderer.
But the most popular theory is that Ruth met a married man in St. Augustine and began a forbidden love affair. The newly single Ruth fell hard for the charming man who would check into the hotel as Mr. X. After a few weeks, Ruth urged him to get a divorce and leave his wife. Mr. X tried to put Ruth off, but after a while she became more persistent and gave him an ultimatum. End his marriage, or Ruth was going to go to his home while he was at work and tell his wife what was going on. Mr. X put her at ease and told Ruth that he would end it in a few weeks, and she would be able to move in with him. A few days later, the man went to Castle Warden to see Ruth, as he normally did. He told her that his marriage was over and that they would be together as he promised. After they made love, she fell asleep in his arms and dreamt about their life together. Yet she was abruptly woken to find a pillow over her face as she struggled to breathe. Unable to overpower Mr. X, Ruth died of suffocation moments later. He then went into her bathroom and started a fire as a diversion in order to cover his tracks.
Dastardly Mr. X. After the fire and tragic deaths, the hotel stayed open, and in 1946 it was sold to Daniel Crawford Jr. During this time, Robert Ripley had been coming to St. Augustine and was looking for a place to open a museum for his oddities and collection of bizarre things. Unfortunately, Mr. Ripley died in 1949, but the following year his estate worked out a deal to buy the property, and it became home to Ripley's Believe It or Not Museum. The museum still occupies the massive building today, and it's one of the most unique museums in the country. It has shrunken heads and wax figures of the fattest and tallest men, as well as other curiosities. Ripley's Believe It or Not even has an exhibit that tells a story of women who were killed in the fire.
Today, Castle Warden and the museum are considered to be one of the most haunted places in St. Augustine. Through the years, staff members and people who worked in the old hotel are constantly dealing with mischievous spirits in the museum.
When I visited Ripley's Believe It or Not, I spoke with several associates, all of which who had strange stories of things that happened to them while they were working in Castle Warden. The gift shop on the first floor is a hotbed of otherworldly activity, as employees there have seen bookshelves fall to the ground with nothing on them, or anybody around. People in the gift shop also hear strange noises. One staff member told me it's not just noise, it's clinks and clunks, and usually happens after the sun has gone down. Over in the main entrance, also on the second floor, associates have been pushed and shoved coming down the stairs. One lady I talked to told me that one night she felt like something was watching her, so she took a picture of the front window. When she showed me the picture on her phone, I saw the outline of a man wearing a hat.
But the most haunted parts of the old hotel are on the third floor. This is the area that was most affected by the fire. Exhibits in this part of the museum are often found messed up by those who come in the mornings. In the room where Betty Richardson died, it's now an auditorium where historical film is showed to visitors. People have claimed to see the woman walk through this part of the museum, then slowly fade away whenever someone acknowledges her.
But the lady on the third floor seems to have a mean streak. One staff member I talked to told me she had had her hair pulled. Whatever is up there just didn't pull it. It jerked her back with so much force, she almost fell down. One day, two members of management, a man and a woman, were walking through the third floor. When out of the blue, something grabbed the lady by her pants and pulled her across the floor. The man walking next to her fared even worse. After the incident, he felt a sudden stinging on his neck. When he went to the bathroom to see what had happened, he noticed scratch marks on his neck.
We hope you enjoyed our ghost tour of Castle Warden. If you'd like to take a ghost tour of St. Augustine on your own, download our St. Augustine Ghost Map app. Also, be sure to check out our website, southernghoststories.com, where you can find old podcasts along with the books we've written. Feel free to leave a comment or send us a message on our Facebook or Instagram accounts. Let us know about any creepy experiences you may have had, and feel free to give us some ideas on new locations you'd like to hear us talk about on future shows. We love seeing your comments.
And those books Chelsea mentioned are Southern Ghost Stories, Historical Hauntings, Haunted Hotels, Ghost of Gallatin, and our latest, Murfreesboro, Spirits of Stones River. Please subscribe and leave a 5-star review. Those reviews are very helpful, and we appreciate everyone who's taking some time to do it for us. Now please come take another ghost tour with us when we head to Murfreesboro, Tennessee, to talk about the Children's House on the next episode.
It was initially reported that a cigarette started the deadly blaze, but over the years, the theories about the fire have started to emerge, and they all revolve around the divorcee, Ruth Pickering. I guess it's divorcee.
It can be whatever you want it to be.
I think it's divorcee. It's fancier.
Like you. When I visited Ripley's Believe It or Not...
How somebody could have seen your face when you got that wet eye. So sassy. So sassy.
When I visited Ripley's Believe It or Not...
When you?
Yes.
Sorry, I just heard you say when I visited a lot.
A few years ago, I visited Castle Warden, which is now the Ripley's Believe It or Not Museum. I spoke with several associates.
I like the way you said it first. I don't think it was a few years ago.
It was 2. 2 was a few.
It was like a year and a half ago.
It was 2 years ago.
It was a year and a half ago.
It was 2 Octobers ago.
September 2019.
Okay, that's 2 years ago. 19. This is 2021.
Yeah, but this year just started.
It's irrelevant. Can I do my damn part, or are you going to sit here and just fuss at me?
Whoa, sassy pants. We've got a feisty D on our hands. Feisty diva. In the room where Biddy?
Did Biddy Cent stay in the hotel? Did you know I used to work in a bakery?
Yes. Well, I mean, you kind of did.
What?
You kind of did.
What do you mean?
I mean, you worked in the grocery store, and you occasionally helped out in the bakery. I wouldn't say you worked in a bakery.
Okay. Did you know I used to work in a bakery?
Am I supposed to say yes? No. What am I supposed to say?
Say nothing at all. Did you know I used to work in a bakery? I needed the dough.
Okay.